Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Thursday, June the 8th, 2023. Throne Thursday. Today we're pulling from the Game of Throne tarot cards. We have the Six of Swords, where we're moving on from an energy. If you are like myself and felt this crazy emotions and disappointment and frustration under the Capricorn full moon, it is Spirit, it is Yahweh, Yeshua, Divine Creator, Gaia, Mother Earth, your higher self pushing you towards your goals. It's reminding us of that fire. I remember there was an opportunity that came about, and I was just like, I felt something in me, and I was like, I feel like I should. But another part of me is like, remember we did this last year, and then we had like the year end review. It's like, you know what I mean? And you got crapped on, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, okay, you know what I mean? So it's like, why am I putting my energy into a situation that's not going to bear fruit? You know what I mean? That's not my future. That's not my passion. It's for now. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I need to keep putting my energy and time and resources into healing. This is where my passion is. This is where my heart swoons. You know what I mean? And Chan, Chan, on TikTok opened my eyes and said, like, you know, you were probably angry and frustrated. And that's what really opened my eyes to it. And he's like, this is universe pushing you forward. You know, that's why I follow other healers. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, sometimes we get messages and it's just like, you know, we're like, oh, why do I feel this way? And then Spirit answers us in the most amazing, unique way. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, that message was meant for you. You know what I mean? Like I had, you know, so I was watching every single day of his videos, and they stopped resonating with me. And it's like, take what resonates, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a break. You know what I mean? And then I saw he did his nails, and I was just like, let me watch this video. You know, I'm just drawn to the fact that he did his nails, and that's exactly what he talked about. He's like, now that I have that knowledge, it's time to move forward. You know what I mean? I have the knowledge. I know exactly what's going on. And I feel like with the Queen of Spears, if you watched yesterday's cards, we had the Queen of Wands and we had the Queen of Pentacles both in a ascended position. It's like you have the intuitive abilities as a healer, as a nurturer, how people see you, and you'll definitely hear that definition of the Queen of Spears. It's like you have the willingness, you have the gifts, you have the abilities to sit there, and you're doing this from a pure situation. But you know, you got to sit there and be patient as these things unfold. And I'm seeing things unfold. I'm already seeing things move in a positive direction. You know, we get that with the Wheel of Fortune. A stuck situation is moving forward here. I feel like we are breaking down this major barricade. So what happened there? You know, they kept trying to break down this wall. What did they do? They transformed a dragon into a White Walker dragon. And that's what was able to pummel the wall. It was able them to cross through over the wall. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where Spirit is like, you know, you're going to have to make a decision here that will be, they're saying for self preservation, but I feel like you're going to have to make a decision here that suits you best. Other people may not understand it, which is totally fine. You know what I mean? I feel like when they say like fake it to make it, it's just like, you know what I mean? Give 100% of what you're doing that makes your bread and butter, that gets you through, you know, pays your bills and everything like that. But we all know where our heart is. A lot of people that are inspired and driven will sit there and work these jobs to pay the bills, but they're also, any free time, instead of socializing or this or that, they will sit there and they'll put their energy into their gift, their passion. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what they're saying here. You're gonna have to, and again, she's in a seated position. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to make those hard decisions. You know, with myself, I don't go out and socialize. I don't sit there and chasing for partners or anything like that. I put my time into my children, into my faith, in my healing practice. You know what I mean? Last year I sat there and I hustled, and I was putting off paid readings because I was like, that's where, I need to put my energy into. I'm not upset that I did, but at the same time, it's just like, it kind of was like a wake up call. You got to choose. You know what I mean? Which one? Where is your passion? Where do you want to grow? I could grow in either, but where do you want to be in 10, 15 years? You know what I mean? So it's just like, this is a choice. This is how my path is going to unfold as I go forward. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of us, where we feel that anger and frustration over that full moon, is exactly that. We got to be determined. That Ace of Swords, our karmic energy, being truthful with ourselves, with determination and dedication. This is the Six of Wands with the Chariot, that ultimate positive energy. With determination and dedication, you will move forward. We have this spirit coming in. We have this person coming in. This, you've known each other before in a past life. I feel like there is a physical attraction, but the more we talk to them or get to know them, it's just like that physical attraction will fizzle, but you love and respect them as a twin flame soulmate friend. So the two of you will balance each other. You know what I mean? You're both driven people. The Queen of Spirits is like, follow your intuition with this. You know what I mean? It's just like, you may end up sleeping together as well. Who knows? Maybe you end up being friends with benefits. But I feel like it's not going to be anything romantic. This is not a long relationship. This is, you know what I mean? Like a partnership. This is a soulmate connection. This is like, maybe you guys mistake it for that. And it's just like, you know what? We're better off friends. And you end up being friends with each other. You may, you know what I mean? But I feel like this is like for a very, like the rest of your lifetime that you two will end up being friends. This is a work cycle. Exactly what they're saying. The eyes are on you right now. This is, you know, if you are, I was encouraging my girlfriend Courtney about this. I'm like, the time is now. If you are driven, you know, like with myself, you know, like even Courtney, she has a message to share about a unique disease. You know what I mean? She even sat there and shared on her page today. She's just like, if you live in the light, you'll also have to learn how to burn. It's a philosopher's saying. And I was just like, whoa, like that is so deep. And it's just like, you know, in those, just like with the Capricorn energy, and that was our grounding force, was like, when we go through these rough cycles, it's teaching us a lesson. What do we learn from that painful time, that burning time? And how will that push us forward? How could we sit there and learn from that so we don't make that mistake again? You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just like, you know, in that moment, I could have just sat there and said, forget it. Like, what is the point? You know, and all of us get that. In our day-to-day job, in our passion, our family, whatever. It's just like we get frustrated. We're humans. We get frustrated. You know, things are turning out the way that we thought. We get frustrated. You know what I mean? We don't want to carry on. And this is the moment where you sit there and you nurture yourself and you're like, you know what? Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Maybe it's just because I'm emotional. Something is going on. Let me just, you know, woosah out. Let me get some rest and rejuvenation. And, you know, hopefully I will, you know, come out the other side of this and I will know exactly what I need to know, what I'm missing right now. You know? A lot of time is the lack of sleep. I'm sleeping, but the thing is, it's just like, it's rainy weather for the past 2 weeks. So anyone knows that is the best napping weather. You know what I mean? Where it's cloudy out, you know what I mean? And you could just sleep. You could sleep and sleep and sleep and it won't even bother you. You know what I mean? But we got to get up and work. We got to make that coin. We have the star. So after a rough patch, and I feel like the full moon was that rough patch, you know, this is a time of peace and harmony. This is a time of manifestation. This is a time of things coming in here. I feel like you're going to have some money come in here, especially with this Queen of Swords. Do not tell anybody about it. You sit there, keep it to yourself, put it away for a rainy day. You know what I mean? Spirit, it keeps reminding us of that with that King of Pentacles, where it's just like, this is exactly what we're trying to tell you here. You know, you got to sit there and be responsible, because like even myself, like everything we're doing, lights are off, everything. It's like hydro bill ain't going down. It's like, I know we have the pump on the basement for a bit. It hasn't been going off as much, even though we've had all this ton of rainy weather. But it's just like, can't get it below $100 anymore. I was able before to get it down to like $68. Can't do that now. You know, I'm like, oh, get it. You know, this is a time to give the hydro a break. Take that money, save it for the winter time when it's, you know, higher. But can't do it now. They added that extra tax on there. It's not budging. I know I have my computer on all the time, but it's like I need it on for work. So starting off with the Six of Swords, I feel like it's like, even though that energy, it was very emotional for me. I saw the trailer of Bones of Crows, for the TIFF trailer. It's coming out about the residential schools. My heart broke. My son was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I was just like, you know, I was, you know, teaching him, like, you know, this is why, you know, because he's young, you know, and obviously he hasn't been exposed to a lot of that. He knows what's going on with the residential schools and everything, but it's like, you know, this is why, you know, because, you know, they're kids, you know, they want to make videos about cowboys and Indians because, you know, it's in Red Dead Redemption and everything like that. But they don't understand what's going on in the world right now, where it's just like, there's this outcry of misjustice going on in the world. A genocide is taking place and it's being covered up and saying, that's one reason why I have a problem with mass for shut-ins now is, you know, they're like, we are all without sin. I'm like, I understand that, but you can't just say that. You can't just say like, oh, well, if you expect to be forgiven, we have to forgive them. I'm like, that is such a blanket statement to say about such a sensitive topic. Like, no offense, my man. I know you're a man of faith, but that is such a blanket statement. Yes, we are not all without sin, but that was a egregious, horrific genocide. I understand we have to forgive even the worst of the worst, but the thing is, that is such a blanket statement to sit there and tell the survivors and their ancestors and their grandchildren that, oh, we are all, you've sinned too, so we have to forgive them. That is such a blanket statement. I'm sorry, someone that has gone through a miscarriage of justice and had their innocence stolen as a child, you cannot sit there and just be like, well, you're without sin, so, you have to forgive them. It's like, they took something that you can never get back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and just be like, and that's where our human side comes in. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you cannot sit there and say like, oh, sorry, well, you're a sinner too. They're sinners. So, okay, you want to be forgiven, that you have to forgive them. Like, are you kidding me? So I was showing him the trailer. I'm like, this is why you can't, I know you're coming from an innocent, naive place, but if you do this, you're going to get pummeled on social media. I'm like, I understand it, you're not doing what is in what's in this movie or what's going on, but I'm like, just, stick to Star Wars and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, don't put that out there. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's a teachable moment. Six of Swords. Safety, peace, moving on. So this is where I feel like the recovery of the full moon, where it's just like, we feel this frustration, but it's reminding us of our passion. All those strong emotions, that hatred, that frustration. It's like, I feel this way. It's like, put that into your work. Put this into your Eight of Pentacles, because eyes are definitely on you. The Six shows that it's a time to move on after a time of stress and conflict. You may take a physical trip away, step back from a stressful environment, or shift your perspective to find peace within. Overall, this card reassures you that order will return. You may also make a valuable discovery that offers a new perspective on the past. So, things do come up. Like, I would definitely say when you drink your moon water, you will get that stronger connection. Everybody is different. Not everybody is the same. Everybody's healing abilities are different. Everybody's interpretations and openness and willingness is all different. The effort that we all put in is all different. So, you know what I mean? You can't drink it and think that, you're going to fly. It's not Peter Pan water. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just like being open to, you know what I mean? What it provides, and go from there. So the Queen of Swords, single-mindedness, strength, intelligence, insight. So we keep getting these powerful words, and it's like, these are the words to describe you by the universe. You know what I mean? But again, this is on a higher level to be patient. When I got channel messages from Spirit, they're like, patience, you lack patience. You don't have any patience. I'm like, no kidding, right? So the Queen, smart, charismatic, wise, an ally up to a point, but she ultimately puts herself first. Applied to a situation, she advises you to trust your intelligence and insight. The card often comes up in readings to show strength of character, and it can stand for single parents and single mothers. It's hard to be a parent or guardian or provider, nurturer, and be in those situations where you feel frustrated. It's like you wish you could do more, but obviously your resources are limited. You know what I mean? But it's just like you're doing it, and just keep going. You know what I mean? With determination, like they're showing the Six of Wands, the Chariot, we will get through this. It will always be like this. Don't let this time define the rest of your life. This is just this, like they were showing that moon cycle. This is just a phase. You know what I mean? Keep going forward. You will find, if you really open yourself up with your For You page, your social medias, what are they trying to tell you? movies, because we're all surrounded by social media. Even yesterday, a positive omen, opening the door and seeing that hummingbird out, and I was like, I thought it was too cold for them. It's sitting there, and the flowers are there. It's just they haven't bloomed because it's been soggy. So it's just like, they're taking the nectar from the flowers, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what a beautiful sight to see, like to see the hummingbird there, but I also feel like it's just like you're gonna have to make a decision, and saying the words, and I kind of like, dawned on me maybe who this may be talking about, where it's just like they're making a decision that is good for them. You know what I mean? Nobody else may understand it, and I totally I get it now, but it sucks. You know what I mean? But what can you do? So the Ace of Swords, beginnings, decisions, insight, success, clarity, and intellect. The Ace reveals success and breakthroughs. With determination and clarity of purpose, you get what you want. In work, creative projects, and relationship, everything changes for the better when this Ace comes into play, but there may be some level of confrontation too. Wield the awesome sword with care. So, they're showing the wreath, Victor wearing the wreath. We definitely get that with the Six of Wands. The Chariot, there's not so much with the wreath, but even the Strength card, she wears a wreath around her head. But they're saying, like, you are determined. You know what I mean? You are determined. Not even so much for the wreath around your head. Like, this is not an ego trip. Like they even say that with the Six of Wands. You are on top. You're on top of the world. Like you're riding this white horse of purity. But it's like, you get too arrogant and make this into an ego trip, we'll kick you right off. And that's where you get that Ace of Swords karmic kind of energy. We're in this karmic cycle. You know what I mean? How have you reacted and acted in your day-to-day life that wields you worthy of the positive things to come? Because stuck situations are moving forward here. This time of manifestation is coming. You know what I mean? Are you on the right side of manifestations? Are you worthy of these manifestations? Are you worthy of what's coming? Or did you act like a fool and just put yourself and your ego first? It's like, how will this unfold? So with the wheel, we're moving forward, but I feel like it's rocking. You know what I mean? I feel like there's some stones or there's some debris. There's something in the way here, but it's rocking back and forth to loosen it. You know what I mean? See, look, there's a bird here, and I feel like birds will be significant for you. So maybe owls, hawks, eagles, hummingbirds. You know what I mean? Hummingbirds, dragonflies, ladybugs. These are signs of spring and hope and abundance, they're saying. But I feel like these are positive signs where it's like these animals of flight. You know what I mean? Where we're seeing dragonflies are seen as our spiritual loved ones. Robins, you know what I mean? So they're saying there will be birds that will get blue jays, cardinals. You know what I mean? There's significant animals that will, birds of flight in particular, that will be that positive sign for you that things are moving. But like I said, the wheel is rocking. It's getting ready to move. And when it moves, it will flatten whatever is in the way. It doesn't matter. Once it's loose, we all want things to move forward, but it's like, are you ready for what it's going to do? This is Ganesh energy, I feel. You know what I mean? Where it's just like he removes, or they remove all obstacles. You know what I mean? And what a perfect spirit animal as the elephant. Because when they're ticked off, they'll flatten you. They don't even care what's in the way. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where the Wheel of Fortune comes in here. It's like, yeah, it's getting ready to move. But you're going to have to be ready for what is left after the wake of its, coming through. Fate, destiny, law, divine law, opportunity, luck, change. Everything improves when the wheel arrives in the reading. Finances, work, home life, career. Relationships. You also benefit from chance meetings and reconnecting with people who live far away from you. So I feel like reconnecting in the fact, this is why I love Shabbat so much. That's why the Hebrew faith really resonates with me, where we invite our ancestors, our past loved ones, our guardian angels, whomever wants to join us to share in a cup of wine, bless the wine, do the Kiddush. We sing Shalalahem, welcoming everybody and anybody that wants to participate. Let's have a nice meal. Let's have a cup of wine. Let's sing some hymns. Let's praise Yahweh and Yeshua. You know what I mean? Whatever resonates with yourself. But it's just like with that spiritual connection and the meaning of the prayers that we sing is just so beautiful and deep. It's just, that's what I love about it. It's just like, it's not about belonging to a institution and, you know, rules and this and that. It faith, spirituality is what you make of it. You know what I mean? You know, just be like you look on the spiritual books, it doesn't say author God. It's by a human. You know what I mean? So it's used as a guidebook. What resonates with you? I highlight the passages that resonate with me. You know what I mean? And the biggest tale is like, if you look at especially like the book of Ruth, you know what I mean? The book of Esther, where these people, or, you know, and there's many other stories, the book of Job, you know what I mean? Where they were tested in their faith. They were tested in who they are, their character, their heart. In hard situations, are you going to turn your heart away from what is important to you? You know, in the book of Ruth, it's like she could have sat there, went home, done it easy, went back to her home and remarried a young man and had kids and moved on with her life. Instead, she decided to be by her mother-in-law. You know, her husband passed away, her 2 sons passed away, leaving Ruth a widow with Oprah. And it's like Oprah decided to go back home. God bless her. She went back home. But Ruth decided to stay by her side, and God blessed them as they move forward. And through God, through Yahweh, blessed, you know, her to sit there and her mother-in-law to guide her to be remarried to someone important. And, you know, she ended up having a child and continuing life, you know. What a blessing, you know, especially if you're a widow or a widower, where it's, you know, how God will guide you, even though after that happens, your life transforms and you move forward, you know. So I feel like, you know, you see those deep connections, you know. That's where I feel like this karmic connection, you know. How do you behave? But it's judging your heart, you know. That's the biggest thing about faith. It's judging of your heart. It doesn't matter what book you read. It doesn't matter how many times you go to a building. It's where your heart is. Who are you as a person? Even if you don't go to any of this, even if you don't read any spiritual books, if you're a good person, there is a place for you. You know, you don't have to believe in anything. Shane didn't believe in anything. He believed in science, you know. So the King of Spears, autumn, freedom, openness, inspiration. This is someone that's coming into our life, male, female, they are coming into our life, and it's going to be that deep connection. So honor, freedom, openness, inspiration. The king is engaging, charismatic, and passionate about what he does. He may be a business startup, communications, the arts, or a travel industry. Whatever his position, he holds high standards. And I feel like that's the reason why you are so attracted to them. Like that's something that really sparks in you, is the fact that they have high standard. But it's not even like they're arrogant or anything like that. I just feel like they bring a lot. They sit there and it's just like you see their determination, you see their hard work, you see how driven they are, their passion. And it's like that's something that just resonates with you, and you're just like, yes, like I want to be around that kind of energy. You know what I mean? I want to get to know that person. I want to, you know, pick their brain, you know, and find out what makes them tick. And then you guys have like a lot of things in common. So it may be those things that connect you. Maybe you guys falsely think that it's a romantic connection. That's where I say you guys might end up sleeping together. You know what I mean? And I feel like you may slip on and off with one another. I feel like you both stay single for a while here, and then it's just like you guys are friends anyway. Like, you know, we ain't seeing anybody else, so you know, what does it hurt anybody? You know, but the connection is deep. But it's like your friendship is more important than that physical attraction. So I don't know if you guys are going to realize that beforehand, but they were saying some of you may end up sleeping together. Applied to a situation, a light bulb moment offers a way to creative and financial freedom. So maybe you're being drawn to sit there and share your message, like, you know, Courtney was, and I'm like, do it. Like, this is the time. I am being told to do the same thing, and I'm just a big chicken. But it's like also everything's been so busy too. You know, I got to do follow-up readings for people. Oh, my goodness. So, Queen of Spears. The purity of the situation, innocent position. You know what I mean? Being patient. Creative, expansion, force, energy, empowerment. This talkative queen has a passionate, fiery nature. She is authentic and driven. A creative, intuitive soul. She often works in arts, communication, and administration. Applied to a situation, she invites you to explore yourself. The card also shows strong relationships, energy, and growth. So you got the Queen of Spears and the King of Spears. You know, you get that yin and yang. You get that kind of Emperor, Empress energy. There is a connection here. I've been feeling this for a while. This person may be already present in your life and they're coming back into your life. Or this could be someone brand new coming in that you guys end up connecting with. There's something about each other you connect with, and then you guys end up being close friends. It's just, they're saying close mates, you know? So the mates, you usually get that with British or Australian, New Zealand, saying mate. So that may resonate there. So 8 of coins. And this is where they're saying this is a work phase. Maybe you two work together. Maybe you guys will end up working together. You know, maybe your passion project is where you guys end up working together. But with the 8 of coins, it's like your work is out on display. So it could be your work, you know what I mean? Like, I know they'll probably be like, why didn't she? And I'm like, well, you know, I already shared that with someone. And that's like, no offense. I don't want to sit there and stand on the way of someone that actually wants to have a future with this company and grow. Where me, it's like, you know what I mean? I'm grateful for the opportunity. I work my butt off. I will show up, show out. I help where I can. I'm always trying to bring morale up. But it's just like, you know, once, you know, I'm able to dip out, I will. Like, no offense. You know what I mean? But, you know, this is where my heart is, you know, but I still show up and show out there. So the 8 of coins, appreciation, perfection, reward. The 8 is called the apprentice card because it's about education and skill. It shows you're successfully finishing a task, a course of learning, and completing work to a higher standard. And I feel like with ourselves, it's with like getting another phone. And it's like, I feel more comfortable. I still feel like it needs perfecting and tweaking, and I still got a lot to learn. You know, I'm never, I always listen to everybody because maybe they learned something different than we did. You know what I mean? It's like, never sit there and think that you're better than anyone else, because you're always open to learning and changing and growing and evolving. You know what I mean? It's just like, you never overlook anything, because, you know what I mean? Especially the younger people, it's just like they, you know what I mean? They have all these cool quirks and tricks and all this good stuff, you know what I mean? Instead of making, you know, doing this long process, they're like, here, press these 3 buttons, boom. It's like, oh my gosh, that made it so much easier. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, never look down on someone just because, like, quote unquote, they're new or whatever it is, because it's just like, you never know what they're bringing to the table. You know what I mean? Don't ever be so arrogant and closed-minded off to think of those things. So the 8 is called, okay, the apprenticeship card. It's a higher standard. The card often comes up in readings to mark the end of a degree diploma course. So a lot of the kids are graduating and moving out last week. I feel like some of them may be still moving out this week. They move back in August. I know my nephew graduates in September or later. But it's just like, you know what I mean? Completing that secondary, you know, college. I feel like some of you are going for your master's, which is, you know, my hat goes off to you. My head hurts when thinking of all that stuff. So, a probation period of work, a phase of creativity and craftsmanship. Your work brings you financial reward. We keep getting that. It's going to bring you financial reward. You may not see it right now. We all want that bag of money. We all, like, you know what I mean? How many of us, I'm sure everyone could raise their hand and be like, you know, just to have everything paid off and not have to worry, you know what I mean, about this big freaking, you know, thing, you know, that keeps you up at night, you know what I mean? But it'll come. Financial freedom will come. You just got to be determined for it. The Star. Hope, wishes, healing, creativity, inspiration, guidance. And I feel like this is where they're saying with the Wheel of Fortune, manifestations are coming in. You know what I mean? And how did you behave? You know, I feel like that's where that Ace of Swords comes in. You know, they're showing that wreath. Are you worthy of wearing that wreath and having positive things coming into your life? Did you do things that, you know, where, you know, you could have sat there and reaped all the reward for yourself, but you sat there and you're like, you know what? It's bigger than me. You know what I mean? It ain't about me right now. You know what I mean? We thought maybe it was, but it's not. So adds up to the number 8, the number of change and renewal. The Star asks, and I keep saying 8s, like, my gosh. The Star asks you to keep the faith because opportunity and reward will come. You follow a new direction in work, projects, and relationships. Spiritually, the card reveals guidance. And I feel like that's where the birds of the air will be that guidance for you. Those positive manifestations, those positive interpretations. You know, cardinals are significant for us, you know, because that house, like, you know what I mean? Like, we would sit there. The Blue Jays were so rare to us then. And now we're littered with them. My aunt calls them bugger, the B word. You know, I don't want to say it on here and then get my video gets taken down. But she's like, they always take all the good, like the good nuts and stuff out of the seed because she gets the loose seed. And she's like, they throw the seed everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, but the little birds, the finches and stuff come and eat them. And she's like, no, they make a mess. I was just like, oh my gosh. So, you know, I just started laughing about that. But, you know, cardinals, I just love the especially that red of the males. But I just love the togetherness of the birds, you know? Like, you know, oh my goodness. I miss them so much, but, you know, especially in the wintertime, and they just really pop in the snow. Oh my gosh. Just beautiful. They're beautiful red color. It's just gorgeous. Spiritually, the card gives you guidance. You discover your life purpose. For some, the ability to heal others and yourself. You may have come through a period of transition and now sense an unfolding of new creative possibilities. Relationships are harmonious, and if you're looking for love, you are now ready to be with your soulmate. So even though you're ready to be with your soulmate, again, this may be a friendship. I really do feel like it's a friendship. I feel like this is where you're gonna have to make that choice there of you know, especially if you come across this message, it's like, do you still choose to cross that line and be physical with each other? We're only human at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, use your higher self. You know, the body, like they always say, the body is weak but the mind is strong. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we love holding hands and cuddling and all that good stuff, you know? And especially if you've come through a period where you know, quote unquote, been lonely, you know what I mean? Because we're used to those connections. It's just like, well, you know, but I just hope it doesn't spoil that, that connection there where it's just like they can't be around you because they can't be with you. You know what I mean? So if you're able to, you know, especially knowing that this isn't going to lead anywhere, it's, you know, it's going to be a lifetime friendship. You know what I mean? They'll always be by your side. They'll be your rock. But if you're able to avoid being together in that way, then I definitely would, because it may spoil it. You know what I mean? But, you know, everybody do what suits you. Recognition, luck, money, you know? So I feel like on a higher level, especially if you've been like myself and you've been drawn to, like, you know, Reiki, you've been drawn to moon water, you know what I mean? Like, you are drawn to certain things, you know? It's just like, go ahead and, you know, that's what I love about these platforms is like we're able to share our experiences and our knowledge and what resonates with us, because someone may have been like, yeah, I've been hearing about moon water, and, you know, I'm sure Frankie was the first one that talked. I know there's been others, but I saw Frankie, she sat there and she put her jars out of her window at her mom's house and she put them outside, and, you know, I was like, okay. But me, I just put mine on my windowsill. Like, I don't trust people that I live around to do that. I'm not so bold. But she put it out on her sill, so she knew they would be safe there. But, you know, I just feel like that connection, especially doing the reading that I did for my girlfriend Laura, and her brother came in so purely. I know it's because me and her trust each other. Things I've told her have happened. I know with him, he probably sees that I have pure intentions. I'm not here to hurt him. I'm not here to hurt his sister. Anything he tells me, I would never in a million years abuse this and tell someone like, yeah, your loved one says this. I would never. I fear Yahweh too much for that, you know? So it's just like, you know, I feel like it's clear. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not where you're listening and it's just like, okay, it's a broken message. What are they trying to say? Let's write it down. Maybe more of it'll come in. You know what I mean? Where, you know, when you get those channeled images, you know what I mean? So I share everything now, because I used to not say things and then they would tell me and I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I say that? You know what I mean? So I just share everything now and I'm like, please forgive me if this comes off a little bit abrasive, or, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, I'm glad I'm glad that happened. But I'm going to continue with the moon water and see what happens. I don't know if that's what's making me extra emotional, but we'll see. But I was definitely really emotional. But I could also be like muscle memory of my son, because he was a preemie and he was in NICU, and Years later, he ended up in the hospital with getting his appendix out because, so it could be that muscle memory, and that's where it's like I couldn't feel those feelings at that time because it's just like, you got to be strong for the family, but who knows? But I would definitely was really not overly emotional. It obviously needed a purge for some reason, but it's time to get back into the swing of things. It just, it's like I was getting my body ready for like gardening and everything, and then it's like raining for the last 2 weeks. But I know we need it because of the fires. I pray to God that it puts them out, because I feel my heart just breaks for those families, because I know how it feels to have your whole world rocked and, you know what I mean, not know how to put one foot in front of the other. Definitely, if you're in Canada, or even if you're not, if you can donate to the Red Cross to help them out, definitely do so. Or if you're not a fan of Red Cross, I'm sure there's other avenues that are sitting there supporting the families, because nothing is the worst than having your whole world rock like that and have no idea how you move forward. It is the worst. So whatever you can give, even if it's $1, help out. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Thursday, June the 8th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.